Hey guys, so today I'm going to work on trimming out and finishing up these nesting boxes. So far they're framed out and looking pretty good, but now I got to come in and get this pressure treated plywood, sheet out the whole thing, and come in with some cypress and get it trimmed. So this cypress will be trimmed all the way around. It has to be mitered and beveled, so it'll be a little bit of work there. Over here I got to make this door. So it'll be made out of something like this. A door. And then that has to be sheeted out with the plywood as well and trimmed out. And the trim has to be done in a way that it overlaps so that it makes as a stop. So it'll be a little tricky there, but we'll figure it out. Hinge. Angled, nailed and glued on. Then I went ahead and did the fronts the same way, cut out the plywood the same way. I just had to put a bevel on that to match that guy, but this is all nailed and glued and it's clamped up and drying right now. So as soon as that's dry, then I'll take the clamps off and I'll cut out the opening there with the router. And then that one will be all sheeted out. This one is almost done. I got the sides on it. I just got to cut this to length. And same process. Nail, glue it on, and then when it dries, cut it all out. And then both of the nesting boxes will be completely sheeted out. And then we'll go into the trim. That, right? Then I'll go ahead and cut out the openings and stuff, and then come back and do the trim on the sides, bringing that flush to the plywood here. And then last, the trim on the front, which will cover up, overlap the trim on the side. So there you go. I think that's what I'm going to do, and that should work out. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is rip down these rough cut cypress boards. So this will fit through my joiner, this will fit through my joiner, and I've kind of measured it out in a spot that makes it efficient when I cut it all down so I don't waste too much, hopefully. I think I'm just going to freehand this line, and then this will be my bad line, and I'll joint this edge and work from there when I do my cutting. So let's rip this down and then we'll go to the joiner. definitely generates a lot of chips. I'm gonna have to dump this a bunch of times. All right guys, I got these all ripped down and planed to thickness. Now I'm gonna rip them down into 3 sizes, a 1.5, a 2, and a 3. And I'm gonna try and make those work for the whole project. So for example, this would be a 3, here's a 2, and inside the door I'd probably use the 1.5. So I'm gonna stick to those 3 sizes. So to simplify it a little bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and rip those down now. Okay, so here's all the trim. Not all the trim, but the trim I've done so far. And the 1.5 inch, the 2 inch, and the 3 inch. So I got some longer ones against the wall there. Took a long time to get from rough cut lumber down to this ready to use trim. And I'm gonna need a lot more of it because I think I'm gonna need about 100 feet of each size. So a lot of more work. I didn't have a whole lot of scrap, that was good. Because I can, when I have a board, I can choose between, you know, do I cut a 1.5, a 2, or a 3? I can kind of get them all burned up as much as possible. So slight change of plans. Instead of coming this way and having the end grain on this side, I'm going to come this way and have the end grain on the front. Because that way, because this space is too big. So if I put the 3 inch here, bring it to the end, overlap it. Alright, I mean you won't even hardly be able to tell. Look at that, when you paint that. So, something like that. Now this smaller stuff will be the trim up in the middle. And then the door. Alright, I'm running out of hands. The door will come in here like so. Right? Cover that up. Something like that. So you see I like to do mock-ups before I build stuff just to kind of see where I'm going here. Play around with it a little bit, but I think that'll work. Okay, so I've been measuring and cutting all these pieces. Lots of tricky angles and stuff, but that's not too bad. We got this side mocked up. It's not glued or nailed yet, but everything's sitting in place, and I think it looks pretty good. That's pretty close to the finished look, except for the paint. So I'm going to go ahead and unclamp this and glue it, nail it, and then this side will be done, and then I'll have 3 more sides to do. Alright, check out this mess. So the glue dried a lot faster than I thought. It was like 5 minutes and it was already dry. Not, you know, set, but drying up on me. Luckily I just got it in place in time. It's all nailed up now. But what I'm going to do next time is I'm just going to do this piece and the front piece, these two. So I can just get those done. And then I'll do this piece and this piece in the second round, and then this piece can come in anytime later. So we'll make it a little easier next time. Okay, so here I just glued those 2 pieces, the front and the 1 piece of trim right here. That's it. This isn't even glued. So easier that way. Second one in progress. Trimming it out, gluing it all up. And the first one is done for the trim. Still got to make the door and do the trim on the door, but the trim on here is done. Okay, so I've gone ahead and patched up all these little holes and sanded it all down. So now I'm going to paint it. Okay, so I worked on getting this all sanded down, and I filled in all the little holes and put 2 coats of paint on here, inside and out. So that took about half a day, man. All this stuff adds up. Ends up being a lot of work, but it turned out pretty good. I like the way it's looking. Paint actually fills in some of the imperfections, things. So. Okay guys, so I'm going to go ahead and end this one right here, but we'll be back with the door, the high density polyethylene dividers, the roof, and getting it mounted. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.